पेरा है वो पूरा चल रहा है और इसका अलाइनमेंट वगैरह फाइनल होना है, तो जल्दी ही इसका अलाइनमेंट फाइनल होकर उसके आगे की कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
With the unprecedented midwinter opening, the BRO has set a new benchmark in high-altitude road maintenance, ensuring critical connectivity even in the harshest of conditions. Viewers, now moving on, the Bharatiya Janata Party workers are staging a massive protest in Delhi and in Mumbai against Congress leaders, singling out Rahul Gandhi in response to the Youth Congress's leaders' demonstration during the AI Impact Summit 2026. Now, BJP activists reportedly also waved black flags against Rahul Gandhi's convoy that was passing through Mumbai. Viewers, now this comes as at least 4 to 5 people were apprehended yesterday from the Youth Congress wing while their shirtless protest was going on outside Bharat Mandapam, and the remand and bail for these 5 people has been cancelled. In fact, the police custody for them has been awarded for over 5 days. Take a look at some of the reports from various protest sites across India.
और देश का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान। ये तमाम जो लोग हैं वो बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पर पहुँचे हुए हैं। सीधे तौर पर गुस्सा है, आक्रोश है कि भाई आप कैसे राजनीतिक मंच बना सकते हैं किसी एआई समिट को, जहाँ पर 100 से ज़्यादा देशों के प्रतिनिधि शामिल हुए हैं, वहाँ पर आप कैसे पहुँच जाते हैं और प्रदर्शन करते हैं। और ये तस्वीरें आपको दिखा रहे हैं, कुछ लोगों से भी बात कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पर देखिए, यहाँ पर तमाम जो लोग हैं यहीं पर इकट्ठा हो गए हैं बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता। अब यहाँ धक्का मुक्की देखिए, इस मंच को भी, इस बैरिकेड को भी तोड़ने की कोशिश की जा रही है। उधर इस बैरिकेड को भी तोड़ने की कोशिश हो रही है। पहली बैरिकेड को तोड़ दिया गया था, जब यहाँ से भी धक्का मुक्की शुरू हो गई है। तमाम जो लोग हैं, तमाम बीजेपी का कार्यकर्ता और कुछ आपको दिखा रहे हैं जो यहाँ प्रदर्शन करने के लिए आए हैं। उनके पास किस तरह के बैनर पोस्टर हैं, क्या बैनर लगाया हुआ है?
ये देश के
गद्दार बनियानधारी
जिसने कल एआई समिट में जाकर उन्होंने जाकर जो लोगों को भेजकर जो अपमान किया है देश का, उनको ये देश छोड़ना पड़ेगा। आज पूरा देश के अंदर,
यहाँ देखिए, ये संतोष दिखाइए जरा, बैरिकेड पर चढ़ गए हैं वो तमाम जो बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता हैं। और यहाँ पर अब किसी भी वक्त शायद वाटर कैनन का इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है बीजेपी कार्यकर्ताओं को रोकने के लिए, क्योंकि इसके आगे साफ तौर पर सेंसिटिव जोन है, सिक्योरिटी जोन है, हाई सिक्योरिटी जोन है। एयर चीफ मार्शल का भी आवास है कांग्रेस मुख्यालय के बाहर। इस लिहाज से बीएनएस की धारा 163 लागू की गई है, लेकिन गुस्सा जाहिर तौर पर लाजमी है। ये इसलिए भी क्योंकि ये सीधे सीधे राजनीतिक मंच बना दिया गया एआई समिट, जहां पर तमाम जो देश के प्रतिनिधि थे वो आए थे देश की छवि को धूमिल करने का आरोप, और देश की छवि को धूमिल करने के लिए ये प्रदर्शन।
Holding protests in Jammu, Delhi and Surat over Youth Congress protesters storming into the AI Impact Summit at the Bharat Mandapam yesterday. We're getting you this and a lot more right after a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड। आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a panic-stricken environment. In my view, not necessary. He's a well-known tech billionaire and venture capitalist. He says IT and BPO services will completely disappear over the next 5 years. And then he says something as prophetic as, all jobs will disappear in 50 years. Now, this is not an offhand remark. Vinod Khosla is the founder of Khosla Ventures, established 2004, deep investments in AI, sustainability, medicine.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है?
अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा और प्योर मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a panic-stricken environment. In my view, not necessary. He's a well-known tech billionaire and venture capitalist. He says IT and BPO services will completely disappear over the next 5 years. And then he says something as prophetic as, all jobs will disappear in 50 years. Now, this is not an offhand remark. Vinod Khosla is the founder of Khosla Ventures, established 2004, deep investments in AI, sustainability, medicine, and other technologies. He was also an early backer of OpenAI, and he made a lot of money there. In other words, he's not a casual observer. He's deeply invested financially and ideologically in an AI-driven future. So it is possible that he's used overstatement to make a point that also suits his overall business interests. But you see, the atmosphere is already volatile. Just 5 days ago, TCS...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Shita Mitra. This is the show where we give you a roundup of all that has been making headlines through the day. A 360-degree view of all the top stories right here. Now viewers, starting with, anger continues to grow nationwide against Rahul Gandhi after Congress youth workers tried to sabotage the AI summit with their banyan circus. And on this, we also take a look at how Congress youth workers have been remanded to police custody. This as Delhi police claim that Congress's plot was inspired by Nepal's violent Gen-Z movement that toppled the government there. Now also on the show, we take a look at the corruption allegations that have surfaced against the DMK. Now this as the government continues to delay investigation into alleged bribes taken and the tender manipulations. Now viewers, we also talk about how months after Red Fort blast, capital city is on high alert after some intelligence inputs warn of a possible terror threat near Red Fort, and we also understand temples could be the target. We also take a look at the crash conspiracy involving Ajit Pawar, how it continues to get murkier as Rohit Pawar now says that the crash could involve either a political or a commercial conspiracy. And at last, we take a look at how Donald Trump refuses to budge. Right after the US top court struck down his tariff, saying that he breached his authority as President Trump signs an executive order imposing 10% tariffs globally. All that and more lined up for you ahead. Now viewers, starting with the first story, after a massive protest by the Indian Youth Congress workers during the AI Impact Summit 2026 at the Bharat Mandapam, BJP workers have now hit the streets. A pan-India protest by showing black flags to Rahul Gandhi. Now viewers, the protests were carried out in various areas including Delhi, Mumbai, Surat, Jammu as well as Jaipur. And these protests followed an announcement by Virendra Sachdev, who said he would lead a march to denounce what he termed hooliganism by Youth Congress workers at the summit venue. Take a look at this report.
The BJP workers staged a massive protest today. The protests were carried out against Congress leaders in response to the Rahul Banyan circus at the AI summit yesterday.
और देश का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान, ये तमाम जो लोग हैं वो बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पर पहुँचे हुए हैं। सीधे तौर पर गुस्सा है, आक्रोश है कि भाई आप कैसे राजनीतिक मंच बना सकते हैं किसी एआई समिट को, जहाँ पर 100 से ज़्यादा देशों के प्रतिनिधि शामिल हुए हैं, वहाँ पर आप कैसे पहुँच जाते हैं और प्रदर्शन करते हैं। और ये तस्वीरें आपको दिखा रहे हैं, कुछ लोगों से भी बात कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पर देखिए, यहाँ पर तमाम जो लोग हैं यहीं पर इकट्ठा हो गए हैं बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता। अब यहाँ धक्का मुक्की देखिए, इस मंच को भी, इस बैरिकेड को भी तोड़ने की कोशिश की जा रही है। उधर इस बैरिकेड को भी तोड़ने की कोशिश हो रही है। पहली बैरिकेड को तोड़ दिया गया था, जब यहाँ से भी धक्का मुक्की शुरू हो गई है। तमाम जो लोग हैं, तमाम बीजेपी का कार्यकर्ता और कुछ आपको दिखा रहे हैं जो यहाँ प्रदर्शन करने के लिए आए हैं।
BJP held nationwide protests in various areas. The areas included Delhi, Mumbai, Jaipur, Surat, Jammu and Hyderabad. The nationwide stir saw burning effigies of Rahul Gandhi. Black flags were also waved at Rahul Gandhi's convoy in Maharashtra's Bhiwandi. While the BJP has publicly criticized the Congress, the opposition party has not yet issued a detailed response regarding the allegations. With protests now spilling on the streets across multiple cities, the political temperature over the AI Impact Summit controversy continues to rise, reflecting national anger against Rahul Gandhi and his Banyan circus.
And now viewers, the Delhi police have arrested 4 leaders of the Indian Youth Congress in connection with the protest that took place at the India AI Impact Summit held at Bharat Mandapam. Now the accused were produced before the Patiala House Court earlier today, where the police sought their custody for further investigation, and the court heard the arguments on both the sides and alleged that the protest indeed disrupted the summit proceedings, resulted in injuries to personnel on duty. Now, the police also made some major claims, saying that the Congress protest was very much similar to Nepal's Gen-Z violent revolution. Here's a look into this story.
After the shameful act by Congress Youth Wing at the Bharat Mandapam yesterday, 4 Indian Youth Congress leaders were arrested after their shirtless protest at the India AI Summit. Today, they were produced in court as their bail and remand requests were heard by the court. The accused filed a bail application in court and sought relief while massive protests broke out on streets across the nation. The protest by the Youth Congress members took place during the AI summit attended by international delegates yesterday. Police say the accused raised anti-national slogans and wore T-shirts with messages against the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, as per the police, 3 policemen were injured during the incident. On the other hand, police said that the 4 coordinated the protest from different locations and printed their T-shirts. The Delhi police sought 5 days custody to recover phones, trace funding and arrest others involved. For now, the court has reserved its decision on the bail and remand. Meanwhile, Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav condemned the act, calling it shameful.
कल जो यूथ कांग्रेस के जो रकस यहाँ पे क्रिएट करने की कोशिश की, उसको सब ने इनवेरिएबली शेमफुल कहा है। किसी ने बहुत स्ट्रांग वर्ड्स भी यूज किए हैं, और जिस तरह से भारत की प्रतिष्ठा को कम करने का प्रयास कांग्रेस हमेशा करती है, वो बहुत ही शर्मनाक है। और किसी भी पैरामीटर पे इस तरह की हरकत करना उनकी राजनीति जैसी जो गिरावट है उनकी राजनीति में वो दर्शाता है।
The political row continues, with the Youth Congress calling it suppression and the police citing law and order concerns.
And now viewers, moving on to another concerning development coming to light from the capital city. Now Delhi is on high alert following intelligence inputs warning of a possible terror threat near the Red Fort. Now sources indicate that terrorists may be targeting a temple in Chandni Chowk, with the Pakistan-based terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba reportedly being behind this plot. Now this is coming close to 3 months after the Red Fort blast that rocked the national capital in November last year. Now viewers, it's a big terror threat that is coming. Intelligence inputs say that the attacks could target temples in Old Delhi. Here, more details on this. Take a look.
Delhi is on high alert. Surveillance has been intensified at temples, markets and historic sites. This after intelligence inputs warned of a possible terror threat near the Red Fort. Security agencies have stepped up vigilance in the national capital with heavy reinforcement deployed in multiple locations. As per intel, key religious sites including areas around the Red Fort and Chandni Chowk are reportedly on the radar of Lashkar-e-Taiba. Intelligence input suggests the terror outfit may be planning an IED attack in retaliation for the February 6th blast at a mosque in Islamabad. Meanwhile, intel sources also indicate that major temples in India could be potential targets of LET. The alert in Delhi comes in the backdrop of the deadly November 10th Red Fort blast, which killed 15 people last year. The deadly blast was caused by a car loaded with explosives near gate number 1 of the Red Fort metro station. It triggered fires in multiple nearby vehicles. A special NIA court recently extended the investigation period by 45 days, while the judicial custody of 7 accused has also been extended in the matter. Rapid response teams, bomb squads and local police are on high alert to prevent any untoward incident. On the other hand, citizens have been urged to stay vigilant and report any suspicious activity to police immediately. Security officials are also reviewing all movement near the Red Fort and Chandni Chowk to ensure public safety every minute. Delhi now remains on edge as security agencies race against time to thwart any possible terror attack.
Now viewers, the nephew of the late Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra and NCP-SP leader Rohit Pawar has once again raised some serious questions about the Ajit Pawar plane crash case. He alleges that there could be a possible conspiracy. He has also demanded accountability at the highest level. Now he says either there could be a commercial conspiracy or a political one that killed Ajit Pawar. He has also blamed the company, in fact, which was behind this, the VSR Aviation. He says that some questions need to be answered and he's asking for an investigation by a central agency into this crash that killed Ajit Pawar. Take a look at this report.
Nephew of the late Deputy Chief Minister and NCP-SCP leader Rohit Pawar has once again raised serious questions over the Ajit Pawar plane crash case. Speaking to the media, Rohit Pawar said the crash could involve either a political or a commercial conspiracy. He questioned whether influential individuals were protecting the company allegedly responsible for the incident. Pawar further alleged that several powerful individuals, including officials from the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, may be linked to the company in question.
जो कंपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, जैसे VSR रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, उसको अगर कोई सपोर्ट कर रहा है, उसको अगर कोई बचा रहा है, वो भी एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी हो सकती है. इसलिए इतने पावरफुल लोग इस कंपनी के पीछे है, DGCA के बहुत बड़े अधिकारी इसके पीछे है. लेकिन आज की जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है, उसके माध्यम से हमारी एक बहुत बड़ी मांग है कि ये जो मंत्री है, एविएशन मिनिस्टर, उनका रेजिग्नेशन ये डेफिनेटली हम उनकी मांग करते हैं कि उनका रेजिग्नेशन लिया जाए.
He claimed that only the country's top leadership can ensure a fair investigation. He also announced that he would send a formal letter to the Prime Minister seeking intervention and demanded the resignation of the Union Aviation Minister. The allegations have intensified political heat around the crash case, with demands for an independent and transparent probe now growing louder.
And now we are shifting focus to the poll-bound state of Tamil Nadu. Now the MK Stalin-led DMK government is facing intense scrutiny, and this is over multiple alleged corruption scandals in the municipal administration and water supply department, which is headed by Minister K.N. Nehru. Now the ED has forwarded detailed dossiers alleging a cash for jobs scam involving bribes of rupees 25 to 35 lakhs per post, a tender manipulation racket with about 7.5 to 10% commissions on contracts, and irregularities in transfers, posting worth hundreds of crores supported by evidence like WhatsApp chats, bribe ledgers and hawala trails. Take a look at this report that talks about these massive allegations that have come to light now.
Crores in cash, a secret deal and a trail of money allegedly leading to the top of the ruling establishment in Tamil Nadu. The Enforcement Directorate has submitted detailed dossiers accusing senior officials in Tamil Nadu's municipal administration and water supply department, headed by DMK Minister K.N. Nehru, of running a cash for jobs syndicate.
Sir, इनकी DVSC வந்து English alkana sakita.
The report states that more than 150 candidates were illegally recruited through the intervention of Ravichandran and Manivannan, brothers of the sitting minister. According to ED claims, government posts were allegedly sold for 25 lakh rupees to 35 lakh rupees each, with the total illegal collections coming up to 800 to 888 crore rupees.
Today our advocate Alas Bharati had met the media and expressed the party stand on that. That Nehru will face it. No, it's intentionally the BJP is doing during election. They want to put pressure on these DMK leaders that they will handle.
But that's not all. Investigators also alleged a massive tender manipulation racket. Contractors were forced to pay 7.5 to 10% commission on civic contracts, money allegedly dubbed as party funds. The estimated collection over 1,000 crore rupees as party funds. The ED claims it has WhatsApp chats, handwritten ledgers, hawala trails and digital evidence, pointing to an organized system of bribe collection benefiting the ruling party. The ED in its report has named Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin as a direct beneficiary of the alleged proceeds. Despite ED requests for FIRs, the state government has faced criticism for delays, prompting the Madras High Court to direct the DVAC to register cases in February 2026. The DMK, however, has flatly rejected the allegations, but the opposition is not backing down.
The DMK government has completely failed in its promises. So, they have passed everything in corruption. Because today also we have seen that the Honorable High Court had passed an order that the DVAC should register complaint against Mr. K.N. Nehru. That means what? Prima facie, there is a corruption charge against Mr. K.N. Nehru on the appointment scam.
AIA, DMK and BJP are also demanding independent investigation, accusing the Stalin government of shielding corruption and stonewalling investigators.
Now, viewers, the US Supreme Court has struck down President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs, dealing a major blow to the central pillar of his economic agenda in a landmark ruling. Now, the court said that the president exceeded his authority under a 1977 law, that International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Now, Trump has called the decision disgraceful and has hinted at a backup plan. Here's more on this story. Take a look.
Delivering a major setback, the Supreme Court ruled that President Donald Trump exceeded his authority in imposing sweeping tariffs under emergency powers. The decision strikes at the heart of what had been a central plank of Donald Trump's economic strategy. The court held that the aggressive tariff measures violated the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. President Donald Trump addressed reporters hours after the Supreme Court struck down his emergency tariffs. Reacting sharply, Donald Trump described the ruling as disgraceful.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
Trump accused some justices of siding against American interests.
They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement.
He announced a new 10% global tariffs under Section 122.
My relationship with Prime Minister Modi is, I would say, great. I also stopped a war between India and Pakistan, as you know. There were 10 planes we shot down. That war was going, and probably going nuclear. And just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 35 million lives by getting them to stop. That's and I did it largely with tariffs. I said, look, you're going to fight, that's fine, but you're not going to do business with the United States, and you're going to pay a 200% tariff, each country. And they called up and they said, we have made peace.
The opinion was authored by Chief Justice John Roberts and backed by 3 liberal justices and 2 conservative colleagues. In the ruling, Roberts wrote that the president had exerted extraordinary unilateral power to impose tariffs of unlimited scope and duration. Further, Trump claimed his tariff policy prevented global tensions, including between India and Pakistan.
Nothing changes?
No, nothing changes. They'll be paying tariffs, and we will not be paying tariffs. Our deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know. India, I think Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man, actually, but he was much smarter than the people that he was against in terms of the United States. He was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now, and we are not paying tariffs to them, and they are paying tariffs. We did a little flip.
Praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Trump stated India-US trade deal will continue to be the same. The verdict marks a rare setback for the Trump administration before a Supreme Court that holds a 6-3 conservative majority. With fresh tariffs now on the table, the battle over trade policy appears far from over, setting the stage for another legal and political showdown.
And viewers, that's a wrap on 6 Stories at 6 with me, Ishita Mitra. Thank you so much for watching. News and developments continue on the other side.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a panic-stricken environment. In my view, not necessary. He's a well-known tech billionaire and venture capitalist. He says IT and BPO services will completely disappear over the next 5 years. And then he says something as prophetic as all jobs will disappear in 50 years. Now, this is not an offhand remark. Vinod Khosla is the founder of Khosla Ventures, established 2004, deep investments in AI, sustainability, medicine, and other technologies. He was also an early backer of OpenAI, and he made a lot of money there. In other words, he's not a casual observer. He's deeply invested financially and ideologically in an AI-driven future. So it is possible that he's used overstatement to make a point that also suits his overall business interests. But you see, the atmosphere is already volatile. Just 5 days ago, TCS shares fell to 5.5-year low. TCS just collapsed. And across India's IT corridors, there is a growing paranoia. Will automation hollow out all services?
At 7 p.m. on This Is Exclusive, a story that's brewing in the state of Tamil Nadu. Scam after scam after scam. Reports being sent by enforcement agencies, investigating agencies. But they believe that the Stalin government is stalling them. We have the reports, the allegations, the annexures, the explosive news break at 7 p.m. on This Is Exclusive.
राहुल जी, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि वो आप गलत कह रहे हैं। राहुल जी, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा कि आप गलत कह रहे हैं। भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं हुआ। राहुल जी, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि आप गलत कह रहे हैं, गलत आर्टिकल का हवाला दे रहे हैं, भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं कर रहे हैं। जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि आपने अज्ञात सूत्रों का हवाला दिया है, भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं हुआ है। क्या आपने गलत कहा था? जनरल नरवणे ने कहा कि अज्ञात सूत्रों का हवाला।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a panic-stricken environment. In my view, not necessary. He's a well-known tech billionaire and venture capitalist. He says IT and BPO services will completely disappear over the next 5 years. And then he says something as prophetic as all jobs will disappear in 50 years. Now, this is not an offhand remark. Vinod Khosla is the founder of Khosla Ventures, established 2004, deep investments in AI, sustainability, medicine, and other technologies. He was also an early backer of OpenAI, and he made a lot of money there. In other words, he's not a casual observer. He's deeply invested financially and ideologically in an AI-driven future. So it is possible that he's used overstatement to make a point that also suits his overall business interests. But you see, the atmosphere is already volatile. Just 5 days ago, TCS shares...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Stalin government under scanner on multiple scams in Tamil Nadu. BJP workers stage a massive nationwide protest against Rahul Gandhi. The BJP holds protests in Jammu, Delhi and Surat over Youth Congress protesters storming into the AI Impact Summit at the Bharat Mandapam yesterday. Rahul Gandhi shown black flags en route from Mumbai to Bhiwandi. Rahul Gandhi shown black flags on his way from Mumbai to Bhiwandi as police sealed off the Bhiwandi court premises amid protest fears and restricted public and media access. Alert issued for a possible terror threat to national capital. Intel sources flag Lashkar plot to target places of worship. Viewers, getting in a fresh breaking development now after the court ordered the FIR on the controversial Shankaracharya. He has come out stating that the allegations against him are false. The self-styled godman has now called the allegations of sexual abuse which were leveled against him completely false. This is the latest statement that we're getting in, and this too comes after the court ordered an FIR on the controversial Shankaracharya. Now he has stepped up and he has come out stating that these allegations against him are false. Listen in.
तो जो फर्जी मुकदमा बना करके हमारे ऊपर दायर किया गया है उसकी सच्चाई सबके सामने आएगी, तभी ऐसा काम करने वाले जो लोग हैं वो दंडित हो सकेंगे। तो इसलिए आवश्यक है, हम यही कहना चाहेंगे कि न्यायालय लंबा समय न लगाते हुए इस पर थोड़ी सी द्रुत गति से काम करे, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों की निगाह इस पर लगी रहेगी। तो जल्दी से जल्दी इस पर गवाही साखी करे और निर्णय करे। जो गलत है वो तो गलत ही है, जो फर्जी केस बनाया है वो तो फर्जी ही सिद्ध होना है।
गुरुजी, आप बता दें कि कोर्ट में पीठ पर आसीन है और आपके ऊपर इस तरह के आरोप लगाए गए हैं, तो
बात यह है कि सनातन के ऊपर आरोप लगा कौन रहा है? आप देखिए, किसी विधर्मी ने थोड़े लगाया है हमारे ऊपर आरोप। जिस व्यक्ति ने लगाया है वो खुद हिस्ट्री शीटर है। उसकी पूरी हिस्ट्री शीट शामली जिले के कांदला थाना में दीवार के ऊपर जो हिस्ट्री शीटरों का नाम लिखा हुआ है उसमें 34 नंबर पे उसका नाम लिखा है। ऐसा हमको बताया, लोगों ने फ़ोटो भी दिखाया उस दीवार का। वहाँ पर जो रजिस्टर रखा है उसमें HS नंबर 76A उस व्यक्ति का नाम लिखा है। जाने कितने लोगों के ऊपर फर्जी मुकदमा डाल करके और उनको उगाही करना, यही उसका काम है। वो व्यक्ति राम भद्राचार्य का शिष्य बन जाता है और राम भद्राचार्य जी की शिष्य होने के बाद वो आकर के हम लोगों के ऊपर इस तरह का आरोप लगाता है। तो आप समझ लीजिए कि ये आरोप कोई विधर्मी नहीं लगा रहा है, ये आरोप कहाँ से आ रहा है? राम भद्राचार्य जी, और राम भद्राचार्य जी का बल कहाँ है वो भी आप लोग जान लीजिए। तो गौ माता की जो आवाज़ हम उठा रहे हैं, इस आवाज़ को बंद करने के लिए सारे प्रयत्न हो रहे हैं, उन्हीं में से एक प्रयत्न ये भी है।
Viewers, also joining me on the phone line is my colleague Sagar to get us more details into the matter. Sagar, इन developments के बारे में कुछ और details दीजिए। शंकराचार्य जी ने अभी कहा है कि ये सारे allegations जो उनके अगेंस्ट लगाए गए हैं सेक्सुअल अब्यूज के, वो एकदम गलत हैं। सागर,
देखिए, बिल्कुल अगर हम बात करें तो पूरे मामले में शंकराचार्य ने कई बार इस बात का जिक्र किया कि उन पर जो एलिगेशन लगाए गए, जो आरोप लगाए गए, वो पूरी तरह से गलत है। लेकिन जब आशुतोष ब्रह्मचारी से हमारी कई बार बातचीत हुई, उन्होंने हर बार ये कहा कि उनके पास पूरा प्रमाण है, पुख्ता सबूत है, और उन्होंने कोर्ट रूम के अंदर उन 2 नाबालिग बच्चों को भी पेश किया था जिन 2 नाबालिग बच्चों के साथ कहा गया है कथित तौर पर यौन शोषण हुआ। उन बच्चों के कोर्ट में बयान दर्ज किए गए। बयान दर्ज करने के बाद देखिए कोर्ट जो उस दहलीज पर पहुंचा कि आखिर अब FIR का आदेश अब देना चाहिए, और फिर उसके बाद देखिए FIR का आदेश अब दिया गया। अब इसमें जो है झोसी थाना पुलिस अब पूरे मामले की जांच करेगी। यही नहीं, जिस माघ मेले के दौरान प्रयागराज में ये कहा गया उनके आश्रम के अंदर भी इस तरह की अवैध गतिविधियां चलती रही बच्चों से यौन शोषण मामले को लेकर, उस पर भी पूरी जांच अब की जाएगी। हालांकि ये भी कहा शंकराचार्य पर जिन्होंने आरोप लगाया ब्रह्मचारी ने कि केवल ये बच्चों की संख्या 2 नहीं है, लगभग 20 बच्चों की संख्या है जिनके साथ इसी तरह से यौन शोषण होता रहा है आश्रम के अंदर। लेकिन अब शंकराचार्य देखिए बुरी तरह से फंसते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं पूरे मामले में। जांच की आंच अब कहां तक पहुंचेगी ये भी अब देखने वाली बात है, क्योंकि जो शंकराचार्य के शिष्य थे मुकुंदानंद, उन पर भी आरोप लगे कि बच्चों को बहला फुसलाकर वो जो है पूरा कृत्य कराते थे और अन्य देखिए लोगों के पास लेकर जाते थे। अब जो है 13 मार्च को पूरे मामले की सुनवाई है। दोनों पक्ष के जो है वकील आमने सामने होंगे, अपने अपने तथ्यों को पेश करेंगे, किसके तथ्यों में कितनी सच्चाई है उसको लेकर अब सुनवाई होगी। लेकिन 13 फरवरी को जब इस मामले की सुनवाई हो रही थी, उस दौरान कोर्ट ने फैसले को सुरक्षित रखा था उन तमाम गवाहों और बयानों को देखिए मद्देनजर रखते हुए। फिर जो है आज जब इस मामले पर फैसला है FIR को लेकर, तो कोर्ट उन पर देखिए पहलुओं पर विचार किया कि आखिर क्या फैसला सुनाना चाहिए। अब देखिए जांच अब बहुत तेज होगी पूरे मामले में शंकराचार्य को लेकर। जी
Right, Sagar, thanks very much for getting us those details and for joining us on the broadcast. Viewers will keep tracking the story closely for you. For now, shifting focus and looking at what's happening across the country, especially against the Congress party. Now, the BJP workers are staging a massive protest in both Delhi and Mumbai against Congress leaders, singling out Rahul Gandhi in response to the Youth Congress leaders' demonstration during the AI Impact Summit 2026. Now, BJP activists have reportedly also waved black flags at Rahul Gandhi's convoy, which was en route from Mumbai to Bhiwandi. Now, these are the visuals on your screens. You can see New Delhi, Surat, Jammu, Mumbai, multiple places completely erupted in protest. Viewers, now also take a look at some of the reports that we have from various protest sites across India. Take a look.
और देश का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान, ये तमाम जो लोग हैं वो बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पर पहुँचे हुए हैं। सीधे तौर पर गुस्सा है, आक्रोश है कि भाई आप कैसे राजनीतिक मंच बना सकते हैं किसी AI समिट को, जहाँ पर 100 से ज़्यादा देशों के प्रतिनिधि शामिल हुए हैं, वहाँ पर आप कैसे पहुँच जाते हैं और प्रदर्शन करते हैं। और ये तस्वीरें आपको दिखा रहे हैं, कुछ लोगों से भी बात कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पर देखिए, यहाँ पर तमाम जो लोग हैं यहीं पर इकट्ठा हो गए हैं बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता। अब यहाँ धक्का मुक्की देखिए, इस मंच को भी, इस बैरिकेड को भी तोड़ने की कोशिश की जा रही है। उधर इस बैरिकेड को भी तोड़ने की कोशिश हो रही है। पहली बैरिकेड को तोड़ दिया गया था, जब यहाँ से भी धक्का मुक्की शुरू हो गई है। तमाम जो लोग हैं, तमाम बीजेपी का कार्यकर्ता और कुछ आपको दिखा रहे हैं जो यहाँ प्रदर्शन करने के लिए आए हैं, उनके पास किस तरह के बैनर पोस्टर हैं, क्या बैनर लगाया हुआ है।
ये देश के गद्दार बनियानधारी जिसने कल AI समिट में जाकर उन्होंने जाकर जो लोगों को भेजकर जो अपमान किया है देश का, उनको ये देश छोड़ना पड़ेगा। आज पूरा देश के अंदर,
यहाँ देखिए, ये संतोष दिखाइए जरा, बैरिकेड पर चढ़ गए हैं वो तमाम जो बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता हैं। और यहाँ पर अब किसी भी वक्त शायद वाटर कैनन का इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है बीजेपी कार्यकर्ताओं को रोकने के लिए, क्योंकि इसके आगे साफ तौर पर सेंसिटिव जोन है, सिक्योरिटी जोन है, हाई सिक्योरिटी जोन है। एयर चीफ मार्शल का भी आवास है कांग्रेस मुख्यालय के बाहर। इस लिहाज से BNS की धारा 163 लागू की गई है, लेकिन गुस्सा जाहिर तौर पर लाजमी है। ये इसलिए भी क्योंकि ये सीधे सीधे राजनीतिक मंच बना दिया गया AI समिट, जहां पर तमाम जो देश के प्रतिनिधि थे वो आए थे देश की छवि को धूमिल करने का आरोप, और देश की छवि को धूमिल करने के लिए ये प्रदर्शन, ये दिखाने के लिए मकसद ज़रूरी है। ये मकसद इसलिए क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं आप राजनीति और देश को एक साथ मत लाइए। देखिए, रोकने की कोशिश हो रही है, रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स है वो लगातार धक्का मुक्की कर रही है। बीजेपी का आगे जाने,
राहुल गांधी को देश छोड़ के जाना पड़ेगा, उन्होंने पूरे देश का अपमान किया है।
आगे रोका जा रहा है आपको,
कोई नहीं रोक सकता हम लोगों को कोई नहीं रोकेगा, मार के भगाएंगे यहाँ से राहुल गांधी को।
Viewers, in fact, the political temperature is rising again, this time over a controversial protest staged by the Indian Youth Congress during the major AI Impact Summit in New Delhi. In Patna, the leaders from BJP and the NDA have strongly condemned the action, calling it an insult to India's global image and accusing the Congress party of carrying out political stunts. Here's the report. Take a look.
BJP workers in Patna outraged after Congress workers created ruckus at the India AI Impact Summit. Workers accuse Congress of tarnishing India's reputation on an international stage. Republic TV was on ground covering the protests. An unconditional apology by Rahul Gandhi is the demand, and BJP workers says they will not budge until that is issued. BJP leaders call protests at AI Summit shameful, brainless and anti-national. Protests across the states, one united call, an apology by leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi.
Viewers, shifting focus to the national capital. Now, Delhi is on a high alert following intelligence inputs warning of a possible terror threat near the Red Fort. Sources have also indicated that terrorists may be targeting a temple in Chandni Chowk, with the Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba reportedly behind the plot. This is coming close to 3 months after the Red Fort blast rocked the national capital in November 2025. Here are the details. Take a look.
Delhi is on high alert. Surveillance has been intensified at temples, markets and historic sites. This after intelligence inputs warned of a possible terror threat near the Red Fort. Security agencies have stepped up vigilance in the national capital with heavy reinforcement deployed in multiple locations. As per intel, key religious sites including areas around the Red Fort and Chandni Chowk are reportedly on the radar of Lashkar-e-Toiba. Intelligence inputs suggest the terror outfit may be planning an IED attack in retaliation for the February 6th blast at a mosque in Islamabad. Meanwhile, intel sources also indicate that major temples in India could be potential targets of LET. The alert in Delhi comes to the backdrop of the deadly November 10th Red Fort blast, which killed 15 people last year. The deadly blast was caused by a car loaded with explosives near gate number 1 of the Red Fort metro station. It triggered fires in multiple nearby vehicles. A special NIA court recently extended the investigation period by 45 days, while the judicial custody of 7 accused has also been extended in the matter. Rapid response teams, bomb squads and local police are on high alert to prevent any untoward incident. On the other hand, citizens have been urged to stay vigilant and report any suspicious activity to police immediately. Security officials are also reviewing all movement near the Red Fort and Chandni Chowk to ensure public safety every minute. Delhi now remains on edge as security agencies race against time to thwart any possible terror attack.
Viewers, now India has come out strong of the Trump tariffs. This after a US Supreme Court overturned the hefty tariffs placed by President Donald Trump. Now, an American economist, Jeffrey Sachs, in an exclusive interview with Republic, speaks about the reversal of reciprocal tariff policy of Donald Trump. Take a look at this.
All right, friends, noted American economist, author and professor of Columbia University, Jeffrey D. Sachs joins us. And he would help us understand the implications of the United States Supreme Court ruling, which has struck down Trump tariff policy, effectively. That was announced on Liberation Day. President Trump's keystone of his economic and foreign policy being taken off by the U.S. Supreme Court. Welcome, Mr. Sachs, on this broadcast. And let me begin by asking, there are 3-4 questions in our minds which we would want to understand and get answers from you on. And the first one is, what's the immediate economic fallout of this decision of the U.S. Supreme Court on taking down Trump tariffs?
It makes void the whole past year of tariffs. It makes void the so-called agreement with India. It makes void the tariffs that have been imposed by Trump unilaterally on the rest of the world. The tariffs return to the levels before Trump started all of this nonsense. He exceeded his authority. He did not have the constitutional authority to impose tariffs. That belongs with the Congress, as the Supreme Court stated. And so it basically makes null and void all that's happened during the past year.
Does that mean, Professor Sachs, that there would be refunds of up to $130 billion to the importers, that the U.S. Treasury would be poorer by that much money, and that's going to have some dominoes on the U.S. government finances?
Yes, it means that the U.S. Will not collect the revenues. Those revenues were never enough to address our looming budget deficit, but they were portrayed by Trump as a major step towards closing our gargantuan deficits. Now they are gone. There will be rebates. They will not be collected in the future. The budget deficit will be 7% of GDP or higher in the United States. So this is one of the implications.
Would that not have some destabilizing consequences on the overall economic scene?
From a macroeconomic point of view, modestly so, because this is not for a $30 trillion economy that huge an effect in any event. Trump claimed it was, but it never was anyway. Yes, we have a failed budget policy in the United States. That's for sure. That was true with or without this decision today. The decision today is really more about international politics and policy. It exposes Trump for what he is: a bully, a thug, and a person who cannot live within the law. That's a big deal.
Perhaps you would not agree less that President Trump's stands compromised globally with this ruling.
It absolutely is, because Trump acted all during last year as the world emperor, telling India, you have to do this, you have to do that. But he did that all over the world. And it was outrageous as it was happening. I said many times that it was illegal and unconstitutional, though I was not sure by any means that the Supreme Court would have the guts to do what it did today. Because the decision today, by the way, I'm only halfway through it. It's 170 pages, so I can't claim that I've read the whole thing. But what I have read is a strong opinion. The Chief Justice wrote the lead opinion. I'm proud of that. He's my classmate from college many years ago. I'm proud of what he did. It's not mincing words. It's not saying, well, look at Clause 3B of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It's saying this is wrong because the president doesn't have the authority to do this. And he goes back to Alexander Hamilton and to the Revolutionary War, and he says these are powers that belong with Congress. So he did a good job in this ruling.
You know, I'll come to that just in a bit. But since we delved on the foreign policy question, Professor Sachs, you were there at the World Economic Forum, Davos, and there was a strong...
No, I wasn't in Davos.
All right, I believe we heard you there at that time. We heard you at that time because there was a strong murmur of dissent against Trump's bullying. Now you think with this ruling, those voices of dissent or disagreement with President Trump in world capitals would stand strengthened?
I hope so, because we're on the verge of war. We're on the verge of war in Asia. The president is about to launch a war on Iran. And we need leaders around the world to say, stop the bullying. It's the same issue, by the way, even more dangerous, however. The president does not have the authority to launch a war on Iran. The only one with the authority in the U.S. is the Congress. And moreover, under the UN Charter, it's violently against international law. But, you know, world leaders have been cowed by the bullying. They're quiet. They don't want to get hit. They don't want to get hit with another tariff. Well, now they're not going to get hit with another tariff. So speak out and say, don't go to war. Enough destabilization in the world. enough one-person rule. That's what I hope comes out of this.
If that be the case, then what are the options available to the U.S. president now? Donald Trump, can he hit back at the U.S. top court in some manner? Can he still find a way around? He has, in the first reaction, called this ruling disgraceful.
Well, good that he has, because that means that he doesn't have easy remedies. He wouldn't care if he was just going to invoke some other piece of legislation. I don't believe that he can do so. The way he acted was not rational. It didn't even pursue American interests, much less anybody else's interests. And what he would do is, in some moment, he would say, well, India's misbehaving. I put on an extra penalty. Or this country's misbehaving. I don't like the advertisement that was run in Ontario, so I'm putting penalties on Canada. This is thuggery and destructive. And there is no other piece of legislation, I can assure you, that will justify that kind of reckless bullying and personalization of policy. Now, given his personality, he may try something else, but we actually today saw the Constitution speak, which I'm very gratified by.
Well, he has said that he seems to have Plan B, but Professor Sachs, that brings me to the last possible question on the conversation we are having. The ruling comes just 1 week ahead of the State of the Union address, and that's a big media event in the Washington, D.C. calendar. You think this comes just in time for President Trump to really double down on his posturing on tariffs?
I don't know if it'll be on tariffs or on troops in the streets or on something else, but he will try to make more show. This is his personality. But I also want to emphasize the American people don't support this. He's not a politician with popularities, politician with some fervent supporters, but there may be a quarter of the population, and his overall approval rating is something closer to about 35% approval and well over 50% disapproval. So he may try some other maneuver, may have nothing to do with tariffs. He's a showman. He's a bully. He may try to bully on something else. He's also got the Epstein files and many other things, but he also has an armada, and he may could decide, as horrific as it sounds, that a war in Iran is a good distraction. It'll prove his power. God forbid. But that's also not impossible.
Sorry to be interjecting. Are you suggesting that a war with Iran could be used as a ploy to distract from the fallout of the U.S. Supreme Court ruling today?
Look, it wouldn't be the first time that a political leader that is hemmed in domestically does something externally to show, who's who. I'm not predicting that. I think every part of the military buildup that's taking place right now in the Straits of Hormuz and so forth is absolutely illegal, unconstitutional, reckless, and dangerous for the world. But it wouldn't be past Trump to say, well, I'll show you who can do what and launch a war on that basis.
Well, the mobilization suggests that there could be some action over the next 48 hours, perhaps.
That is correct. I think we should fear that. I would like to hear world leaders stand up publicly right now and say, don't do it. Don't do it. This is dangerous.
All right. That brings me to the last question, Professor Sachs, and which is that just as this comes ahead of the State of the Union address, this also comes ahead of the midterm polls. You think this is going to have consequences for the president, for the mega constituency, and for the people of America when they go to make their choice in the midterms?
Definitely. This exposes the fallacies of the Trump policies. He's already unpopular. He's already going to lose one or both houses of Congress and this will absolutely add to the weight of opinion against him.
And to end the conversation, can I say that most of your positions actually come as someone who opposes President Trump and most of his policies?
I oppose most of our presidents, I have to say, over the years, because I don't like the way our country has been governed. But I want to say that during the past year, as I've spoken many times in the Indian media, I have repeatedly said that this is illegal, that it is an unconstitutional grab, and that it is bullying, and that it makes no economic sense. So what I'm saying today is what I've been saying for the past year.
Thank you so much, Professor Jeffrey D. Sachs, for your fair and frank conversation with Republic Media Network. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Viewers, shifting focus now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Brazilian President Lula da Silva held high-level talks in New Delhi today, focusing on trade, critical minerals, rare earths and strategic economic partnerships. President Lula is on a state visit to India with a large delegation of ministers and business leaders. Take a look at what unfolded.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Brazilian President Lula da Silva held high-level talks in New Delhi today. The day began with a ceremonial welcome for President Lula at Rashtrapati Bhavan, where he was accorded a guard of honor. He was received by Prime Minister Modi and President Draupadi Murmu. Later, the two leaders met at Hyderabad House for bilateral discussions, while President Lula also met External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. President Lula's visit is seen as a boost to economic and industrial cooperation between India and Brazil. Discussions focused on trade, critical minerals, clean energy, and strategic supply chains. Meanwhile, speaking to the press, Prime Minister Modi hailed the ties with Brazil and spoke extensively about the shared purpose of both the nations.
ब्राजील लैटिन अमेरिका में भारत का सबसे बड़ा ट्रेड पार्टनर है। हम आने वाले 5 वर्षों में द्विपक्षीय व्यापार को $20 बिलियन के भी आगे ले जाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। भारत मर्कोसूर ट्रेड समझौते के विस्तार से हमारा आर्थिक सहयोग और सुदृढ़ होगा। टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन के क्षेत्र में हमारा सहयोग दोनों देशों के साथ साथ पूरे ग्लोबल साउथ के लिए महत्व रखता है।
On the other hand, Brazil President Lula da Silva also lauded the friendship he shares with Prime Minister Modi and mentioned the details of the crucial talks aiming at shared progress.
A reason of happiness for me to return to this country for the 6th time. The meeting between India and Brazil is a meeting of superlatives. We are not just the two biggest democracies of the global south. This is a meeting of the world's pharmacy with the world's barn.
Both leaders also signed an MOU on critical minerals, securing long-term resources and strengthening bilateral trade, which crossed $15 billion in 2025. President Lula arrived with the largest ever delegation, including 11 cabinet ministers and over 300 business leaders, among them 50 CEOs. A Brazilian business forum is underway, exploring partnerships in aviation, manufacturing and technology. The visit comes amid India's push to reduce dependence on China for rare earths and critical minerals, while deepening ties with resource-rich nations. Leaders are aiming to increase bilateral trade to $20 billion by 2030. India and Brazil share a warm, close and multifaceted strategic partnership, rooted in shared democratic values, close people-to-people ties and expanding cooperation across key sectors. The Modi-Lula summit marks a historic step in India-Brazil relations, strengthening trade, industrial collaboration and strategic partnerships between two of the world's leading emerging economies.
Viewers, next up at 7 p.m. on This Is Exclusive. Today, we will talk about how Stalin government is under scanner on multiple scams in Tamil Nadu with our executive editor, Niranjan Narayanaswamy. Stay tuned to Republic TV for 7 p.m. This Is Exclusive.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a pan.
At 7 p.m. on This Is Exclusive, a story that's brewing in the state of Tamil Nadu. Scam after scam after scam. Reports being sent by enforcement agencies, investigating agencies. But they believe that the Stalin government is stalling them. We have the reports, the allegations, the annexures, the explosive news break at 7 p.m. on This Is Exclusive.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. It's a story that only Republic TV is talking about for some strange reason. No channel is talking about it. The corruption scandal in Tamil Nadu. It's not one scam or two scams, three perhaps more. We don't know, but there are reports flagging serious corruption. And the allegation is that the state government in Tamil Nadu is not moving on it, not investigating for some reason before the elections, stonewalling any investigation. Now that's the charge. We have exclusive details on the show. Here are the headlines. Several reports submitted by enforcement agencies, including ED, CBI, to the state government in Tamil Nadu. They flagged multiple scams in the state. Is there a bribery scandal that is going uninvestigated? Cash for job scam, cash for posting scam, tender scam. Are several scams being covered up? There are annexures, signatures, handwritten notes, WhatsApp messages, according to investigators. Is the Stalin government blocking an FIR? The Enforcement Directorate has said that several reports to the DGP are being ignored despite evidence being given in report after report on different leaders, ministers, that goes all the way to the leadership of the DMK. Ladies and gentlemen, the MK Stalin government in Tamil Nadu, the DMK government, is under intense scrutiny. Several of its ministers have been arrested, some sacked, and all of them over corruption scandals. Now, in the latest accessed by Republic TV, the Enforcement Directorate has forwarded detailed dossiers alleging 3 scams. They claim there is a cash for job scam. They claim there are bribes, nearly 25 to 35 lakh per posting. That's the bribe going rate in Tamil Nadu, totaling about 800 to 900 crore rupees in just one scam. There's a tender manipulation racket, they claim, with 7.5 to 10% commissions on all contracts, on tenders that are fudged, that could be amounting to almost 1,000 crore. That's the minimum estimate, which they claim is being collected as party funds for the DMK. They claim there are irregularities in transfers, postings worth hundreds of crores, supported by evidence. They claim there are evidence, there are chats that have been discovered, bribe ledgers, Hawala trails, and the reports that have been submitted by agencies also claim of an organized bribe collection benefiting the DMK, with some ED communications directly linking proceeds to party funds and naming the DMK leadership as a direct beneficiary. And despite requests for FIRs, the state government, it appears, has faced criticism for delays, prompting the Madras High Court recently to direct the DVAC to register cases this month in fact. And the DMK has so far dismissed the allegations as politically motivated attacks by the BJP-led centre ahead of elections, while opposition parties like AIDMK, BJP demand an investigation. They are accusing the regime under Stalin of shielding corruption. Here's how the story is playing out. The 3 different scams allegedly being covered up.
Crores in cash, a secret deal, and a trail of money allegedly leading to the top of the ruling establishment in Tamil Nadu. The Enforcement Directorate has submitted detailed dossiers accusing senior officials in Tamil Nadu's Municipal Administration and Water Supply Department, headed by DMK Minister K.N. Nehru, of running a cash for jobs syndicate.
Sir, इनकी DVAC, sir, इनकी DVAC வந்து English alkana saki.
The report states that more than 150 candidates were illegally recruited through the intervention of Ravichandran and Manivannan, brothers of the sitting minister. According to ED claims, government posts were allegedly sold for 25 lakh rupees to 35 lakh rupees each, with the total illegal collections coming up to 800 to 888 crore rupees.
Today our advocate Alas Bharati had met the media and expressed the party stand on that. That we never will face it. No, it's intentionally the BJP is doing during election. They want to put pressure on these DMK leaders that they will handle.
But that's not all. Investigators also alleged a massive tender manipulation racket. Contractors were forced to pay 7.5 to 10% commission on civic contracts, money allegedly dubbed as party funds. The estimated collection over 1,000 crore rupees as party funds. The ED claims it has WhatsApp chats, handwritten ledgers, Hawala trails and digital evidence, pointing to an organized system of bribe collection benefiting the ruling party. The ED in its report has named Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin as a direct beneficiary of the alleged proceeds. Despite ED requests for FIRs, the state government has faced criticism for delays, prompting the Madras High Court to direct the DVAC to register cases in February 2026. The DMK, however, has flatly rejected the allegations, but the opposition is